shit.
Hightailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Good morning. Good morning. So today's we're gonna start recording these ahead of time. I've had so much trouble trying to do this live recently because my internet up and down and all that stuff. So until we move, I'm probably just gonna record these ahead of time. It is unfortunate because I do love the live stream. I love the feedback from you guys, and it just not only does it carry the show, but like it definitely is. It's more enjoyable than just me talking to the camera. But yeah, grab yourself a mug. And if you don't have your mug already, we do have mugs and merch and all kinds of, we've got all the Halloween stuff ready on the Fourth Wall store. And if you're not familiar with that, that's where all the merch is. And it's kind of like Patreon, but we also sell the stuff over there. So there's membership options. And right now, and we'll probably carry this on forever. If you purchase more than $50 worth of merch, you get a free month membership. So it just kind of works out that way. And then there's all kinds of discounts and special videos. And, there's stuff that's only going to happen on the Fourth Wall store. It has only happened on the Fourth Wall store as opposed to what membership options and videos that we're doing here on YouTube. So we do have both those membership options as well. And I only mention that because we've had a huge influx of new people. So we're, 7,000 of you guys potentially watching videos on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And, it's interesting. It's interesting because, 3 years ago I turned on a camera and, I was just impressed that one person watched my video and that was a family member. So it turns into one of those things that I've really enjoyed building this community and hanging out with you guys. And I've gotten to know plenty of you. So as we dive into all the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, there's a lot of things that I'm excited for, the anticipations for the rest of this year. Also with the move, it's where I'm not really putting like a halt on my buying, but definitely there's a lot going on between October, November, in the move and getting settled and trying to figure all that out. So probably not going to be ordering or buying as much as I normally do. And at the same time, there's so many great, awesome sets that are coming out, things that I'm excited for. So we're going to dive into all that. And the first thing I want to talk about is something normally I bring up every Saturday is the things that I'm going to be watching this week or today or this weekend. And I also like your recommendations, things that you guys are going to be watching and that type of stuff. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. I have, I think, 10 modern films here that I actually kind of enjoyed or really loved. And I bring that up because a lot of times I talk about modern cinema and how I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the modern cinema. And I'm not the only one. There's lots of people that make videos of how modern movies are horrible and the reasoning why and complaining. And I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit there and watch all these movies and then just make video after video of why they suck and blah, blah, blah. But I've not been a big fan, and I've been very vocal about that. Also, with all of the influx of new people coming in and watching the show for the first time, this question gets asked all the time, especially when we have just a huge influx of new people. And so it is, what is with the red DVD cases? So I've said a million times, what I do is I buy this in a box of 100. So these are just replacement DVD cases that I've gotten from Walmart, and usually anywhere between $50 and $60 for 100 of them. And the more you buy, the cheaper it ends up being. So I think if you buy 10, it's like close to 20 something dollars for shipping. But the last time I ordered, it was $50 for 100. So it ended up being 50 cents a piece. And so all I do is any DVD that I own in my collection that doesn't have a Blu-ray and it's something that I know I'm going to keep forever, it's getting a red case. And two, I like the aesthetic of it. It gives me a nice solid case because what was I just picked up? Just picked up this movie, and comes in this like cheap, flimsy, crappy recycle case. It doesn't have the cutouts, but it has the, I don't know if you can see it, yeah. It has the stamp, and it's just very flimsy and not very protective. And so I've always replaced these cases. It's something that I've been doing. And as I do it, I was like, I'm going to change the aesthetic. And so as I've done that, all of my horror movies, all my horror Blu-rays, they get a clear case. And back in the day, Disney always did white cases for their DVDs, and all their movies had white cases and those old white clamshells for the VHS tapes. And so all of my Disney Blu-rays, they get white cases as well. And so I just switch those out, and it's just nice because I don't like the cheap, flimsy, crappy ones. I don't like the recyclable cutouts. Those Echo cases, they're just cheap, and many of them have come damaged or punctured, and it's just a very frustrating thing. So I personally don't like it. I know some people just don't care because they tell me in the comments, like, who gives a shit? I do. It's a collection. It's things that I spend money on because I enjoy it. And then the other thing I was going to talk about is how I'm going to be collecting going into the next year. And this is the plan for going into 2026. And it is not generally, upgrades. I've done plenty of upgrades. There's in I think this year alone we've done tons of upgrades from things from VHS and DVD that I had never upgraded to Blu-ray or 4K, and then any of the Blu-rays and the new 4Ks that are coming out, like that was kind of the focus. This year coming up, I think the focus is going to be more for out of print titles, things that I don't have in my collection, and just going through, just finding hidden gems. Like, when I was a kid and I used to go to the video rental store, that was one of my absolute favorite things to do, was to find the hidden gem movies, the things that nobody was talking about, and get enjoyment out of it. Now, granted, movies are subjective, and you might like a movie and 100 people might hate that movie, and it totally happens all the time. But I'd say there's no such thing as a bad movie in jest, because if you get some kind of entertainment value out of it, it's done its job. So even a really bad movie, and even if you know it's a bad movie, but you enjoy it, it's pure entertainment. And so I picked up this one recently, and it is Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog. I watched it once with my daughter. She actually introduced it to me several years ago, and even then I think it was out of print. It was a harder to find movie. And so I picked this one up. It's Neil Patrick Harris. It's kind of goofy. It is what exactly what the title says. It's a bad movie. It's what you expect, but it's fun, and from what I remember. But I have to give this a rewatch. But I found this one, and I got it for fairly cheap. I think it was like in the $20 range. But this one here is out of print. It's something that I think at one time it had a more expensive price tag on it, but I did grab this one for pretty cheap. And so that's going to be the focus. And so, there are crazy out of print titles that I would love to have that are at that, $100, $500, like crazy price tags. I won't spend that kind of money, but I don't mind, focusing my budget and my funds for some of those more out of print titles, because I have a massive collection and I pretty much have everything that I know that I want. And it really is just either finding those movies that I saw 20 years ago that I rented at the video rental store. I saw them once, and I'd like to revisit those, but then I'm like, oh man, it's like $100 on eBay. And so going to thrift stores and the used bookstore and always looking for those titles. I do have a running list, and I got a video coming out while I'm on vacation next week. And that video, I actually take a trip to Barnes & Noble to look for the 50% off Arrow Video stuff. And the goal is to get one movie. That was it. That was the goal. Let's see how I end up, figuring that out. But then the other thing was to go to the thrift store, because not the thrift store, the used bookstore that's in that neighborhood, because they have a very large selection of movies and DVDs, mostly DVDs, usually a very small selection of Blu-rays, and sometimes you can find a good deal on a 4K there. And so I recorded all that stuff, and in there I found some hidden gem movies, things that were on my list. But then I found this movie, and it's this conversation of bad movies or shitty movies. And everybody's going to have their own opinion, and like there's movies that come across well beloved in the community, and in general people enjoy these movies, and then there'll be somebody in the comments somewhere telling me how it's a shitty movie, or it's like whatever. And so I was just like, I don't understand that. For me, just to be a negative person all the time, like I totally get it. Sometimes you have a bad day or whatever, but just to constantly be negative and say the same things, it's boring. And I was told a long time ago, in the art of debate, if you can't argue the other side, you're not entitled to your opinion. And so it doesn't warrant my time. But with this movie here, you got James Belushi and Jason Bateman. So you got two, big names in Hollywood, I would say. And this is a horrible movie, but I picked it up because it didn't have a Blu-ray. It's called One Way Out, and I was enjoying it. Like, I didn't finish watching it yet because I had to come up here and get this recorded in time to get it out on for Saturday at my normal 10 o'clock show. So this is the movie, and James Belushi's character, he plays not necessarily a dirty cop, but he plays a cop who is in debt to uh, criminals and under the underbelly of the criminal world for like $150,000. And so there's something going on there. But at the same time, Jason Bateman's wife is, I think she's super rich, but then she's sleeping with James Belushi and then rubbing it in Jason Bateman's face. There's this whole like weird side thing going on, but it's not a great movie. But it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable, and I'm going to keep this in the collection. I still have to finish watching it, but for the 40 minutes that I had into this, yeah, for me it's a classic Saturday afternoon film. Now this is probably never going to come to Blu-ray, but it's something that I could have seen this on TV back in the day, like on a cable channel on a Saturday afternoon, and that's why I'm keeping this movie. But overall, it was an enjoyable experience because it brought me back to my video rental store days of just finding something on a blind buy, not just looking for upgrades or the 4Ks or things that are an easy buy. This was spending some time going through the shelves, trying to find something that I have never seen before, and that really is the reminiscing about my old video rental store days. Well, I used to go there all the time every single Friday, but then also, while I used to work there, and so I've talked about that multiple times. Like I worked there while I was in high school, and man, it was an enjoyable experience, something I'll never forget, and I also miss. And so that is something I'm going to try to do a little bit more often. Is not just go in with the mindset of these are the movies I'm looking for. I'm going to go in with the mindset of I don't know what I'm going to find today. And so yeah, that was that. But then as we dive in, we're going to talk about the most anticipated things that are coming out, things that I'm excited for. And the very first one here is, and I already made a video on this, but I'm super excited because it is my favorite horror franchise of all time. And so this is something I'm going to get. And what I forgot to mention in the video was that this whole set, I'm pretty sure, has new encodes by somebody that's considered the best in the business for encoding these 4Ks and stuff. So it's supposed to have a better encoding than the Scream Factory set that I have behind me. So this one here, as we dive in, we're going to talk about the Halloween collection 1 through 4. Now, also something I want to point out, as I made that video, there's definitely people that have love for 3, people that don't love 3. Now I do. I love 3, and it's just I've talked about this before. I do always treat it as not part of the trilogy. So when I'm watching them, I do watch 1, 2, 4, and then I go on that way, and I watch 3 in and around that time. Like if I'm breaking out these movies and doing the marathon thing, I might watch 3 first, or I might watch 3 last, but I do kind of watch it, around that time. And I don't necessarily go 1, 2, 3, 4. I have done it before, but it's not my go-to. So I like that. But there's a lot of people that complain about 3, and I grew up always hearing how 3 was the worst, and because it didn't have Michael Myers and that whole conversation. But as this community that we're part of, and I've talked to many of you, and 3 comes up as some people's favorites, but then it's 4 now is the one that it gets less attention, or not as much love as it may have used to. And so, like, that was just something that I was confused by, because I do enjoy it, and I have this right here. This came in something I bought a long time ago, and it is the Jamie Lloyd card there. Here, let me make myself bigger. So this is the Jamie Lloyd card, and that's the introduction of her in 4. And man, I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. I like the ending. I like everything about this movie. And I think more people complained that you don't have Jamie Lee Curtis, and that's the thing about this one. So I don't know. I like the Halloween movies, and even the ones from the 90s, like H2O and all those. It's just the new ones I don't really have love for. And then the Rob Zombie ones, I think they're all right. I liked the first one at the time, and I didn't think it was horrible, but I don't own it. I don't have it in the collection. I've only ever seen it once. And then the second one, I don't think I was really in on the second one. So I do have to give those ones a revisit at some point. But because I have found recently that the movies that I didn't really love back in the day, I'm really digging now on the revisit 20 years later, 30 years later, and some of these movies, just finding great enjoyment. I don't know if it's like the shift in the culture and then going back and hearing things, and just the way the dialogue was written, less of this like teenage banter and stuff that Shia LaBeouf does really good, but it seems like that's comedy now. And I've talked about that before. Like, I was watching something with John Cena in it, and it was just all it was just this banter back and forth, and it's whatever, but it's not the best. Like, The Rock did it too, and pretty much all his movies now, and there's this like banter. I really enjoyed it with the CIA movie with Kevin Hart and with The Rock. I liked that, but they had that banter back and forth, and so you had a lot of physical humor, and you had some comedy, and there was some great stuff, but it was all dialogue that was just kind of there, and it's just like, give me more of the sight gags. Give me more of the old stuff. And so, as I've rewatched some of these things that I didn't have a lot of love for back then, I'm finding a much more appreciation now. So we got the. Oh, I was talking about Halloween. I was getting excited about the other things I was going to talk about. So yes, this Halloween set here. Super stoked about it. Now, if you missed the video yesterday, it does have a new encoding. I don't remember exactly who did it, but everyone that was commenting that I forgot that part was saying how they're the best in the business, and it'd be interesting to see the comparison between the Scream Factory release and then this one. But I'm super stoked. You have a limited edition, numbered, hand-painted replica from the pumpkin of the first movie, and then all the movies fit inside the back of it. I'm in. I'm totally in. I said that in the video. This is something that I had to have, just because out of all of the horror franchises, it is my favorite. And I'm not a huge horror hound. Like, I think horror movies are fine, but I won't just watch. I'll pretty much watch anything, but I won't own all the crappy, horrible horror movies, or the slashers just to have slashers. And for the longest time, on most of them, I only had usually the first one. Like, I don't even have all the Child's Play movies. I have Child's Play, the first one. I have Bride of Chucky. That's it. That's all I have on physical media for the Chucky movies. I don't have all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. But if they ever did put out like a nice big box set, it would be a big day one purchase for me. But Halloween, that's one franchise that I've had, all of my favorites for a long time on some kind of format or other. But really enjoy this, and so this is something I'm really looking forward to it. But it gets shipped out or sent out, or the release date is around the time that I'm going to be moving. So I had to pre-order this and then send it to a friend to then have him send it to me. So I hope it gets to him safe, and then I hope it gets to me safe. It's one of those things. But I knew that if this sells out and I don't get it, it'll be fine. But then to see those like crazy scalper prices, there was already one yesterday for $700 plus $65 shipping on eBay. And this isn't even released yet. So somebody got the pre-order and they're already selling it. And it's just, I hate that type of stuff. I hate that. I don't know if it's a buy two, got to sell one kind of guy, or just an eBay scalper trying to, profit off of people that collect things. And so, yeah, that's one of those things that I had FOMO. I gave myself FOMO. I was definitely thinking I was going to miss out. And so I had to have this. And this was a huge pre-order. But if you don't know, Imprint Films, they're a boutique label out of Australia. And the one question that comes up all the time is this going to work in my American player? Well, in general, and there have been some mistakes, but in general, 4K movies are supposed to be 100% region free and work everywhere. Blu-rays are still region locked, and anything I've ever purchased from Imprint is region free. I've never had any issue with them. I don't know what they do to not, be locked to the region. I'm not really sure what happens there, but every single Blu-ray that I've ever gotten from Imprint Films is 100% region free, and I enjoy that. But I do highly recommend getting yourself a region free 4K or Blu-ray player, and you can get those. You can buy those. They don't come, as far as I understand, you can't buy one brand new. You have to have it modified. Somebody puts a chip into it or solders wires or whatever, and they modify it, and then all of a sudden it works, and you can press a button on your remote and it'll switch the regions, and it's fairly simple. I've made a couple videos on that topic as well, but man, highly recommend if you're going to be collecting. But if you are ordering from Imprint, feel safe that it will play in your American player. Then we have this. So yeah, I'm super stoked. It's coming with stuff. And 29 by 27 by 25 centimeters. I'm not sure what that is in inches, but I'm thinking it's fairly decent sized. But yeah, I'm super stoked about that entire collection there. Then we had news that this was getting a re-release here. Where was it? Here we go. Back to the Future Ultimate 40th Anniversary 4K Blu-ray. And it looks like it's coming in a big box, but I just saw that another company, I think over in Europe somewhere, was doing these in individual nice chunky box sets, and so that's something to be looking forward to. But there is getting a 40th Anniversary Trilogy re-release. I know that they put out these steelbooks a couple years back, and I picked up that set. It comes in a nice little, it's a flimsy cardboard case, but the steel books go inside and they are fairly protected. I haven't had any issues, but the steel books are nice because when you line them all up, it looks like the car. You got the DeLorean, and I just, at the time I didn't mind buying steel books, and the nostalgia for that movie, I had to pull the trigger on that one. But if you missed out on that and you don't have these on 4K, this might be a great option for you. And the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray plus your digital code, you're getting that big ugly banner, which I hate. And let's see, what is this? I don't think you're getting anything new, really. But you're getting HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus. I'm not sure what the other one included, but I don't think it's a bad price. You're getting all the films. You can pre-order this for $45. It might go down before this actually gets released in October, so that's not too bad at all. And I don't think there's anything new. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if the other set that I have did have the Dolby Vision, but I swear it did. You're getting you're getting Dolby Atmos, Dolby True HD 7.1, French DTS, and Spanish DTS. So you'll be able to watch this worldwide and enjoy it that way. But then, what was this? There was that. Then there was the Steelbook stuff, but then there's this. What is this? The Amazon exclusive Steelbook 40th Anniversary Edition, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray plus digital 4K. And so this is $149 on the pre-order price. And it looks like it's in a big oversized box. It's going to look like this. I don't know if I need it. I don't know if I need. I do love this movie set, and I have, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that behind me, but I have on the bottom shelf. Oh, I'd have to like completely move, but I posted it on YouTube before, the picture of those shelves, and you can see it. But I have the DeLorean cars. I have the one from the first movie, and I have the DeLorean from the third movie. I have those replica cars that were put out. I think it was Diamond Select put those out years ago. Those were a Best Buy purchase. And I think I found them. They were on clearance online, and that's how I got them. And so that's where I have them on display is down there. So I do love this movie set. I don't know if I need this big chunky. I'd have to see more of it. I have to see more of what's going on with this Amazon exclusive before I actually make an opinion. But I'm not super in love. I like the fact that there's something different going on, but yeah, I'm not really in love with the artwork on that. So we have that, and then let's see, what is this? Back to the Future 4K Steelbooks, limited edition. Oh, so it looks like it's just the first one. So it looks like the first one's getting a re-release, and you're getting a limited edition Steelbook, and that's a sharp picture. I enjoy it. I'm not going to pick it up either, but not bad. And for $35, it's on the pricier side. For the $45, you can get all three in a standard slipcover edition. Let's see. Got all that stuff. Now here's something that's come up, and it's Dust Devil. Now this one here, I think I talked about it last week, but it's something that I remember this poster when I worked at the video rental store, but we never had the movie. I don't know how that happened, but it's something that, you know, and I don't think it wasn't this poster. It was the older poster. And so it was something that I'm highly interested in, but at the same time, like, I'm not sure it's a me movie. So I don't know if I'll be picking this one up, but I do want to watch it. It's something that I've probably wanted to watch for a long time. I've seen that old poster. What's this old? Do they have a picture of it? Here, I'd have to. Let's pull this up. Let's see. Because that's not the poster I remember. I mean, it's similar to it. Let's see. Dust Devil original movie poster. Yeah, it was like this. This is what I remembered. It was something like this. Maybe not exactly, but this is more what I remembered. All right, so you can see that. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's more of what I remember the poster being, and I just kind of being on there. So it's very similar, but not the same. Not the same. Or you know, I could be getting my movies crossed. I could, but I feel it was that movie for sure. Now here's one conversation I think we talked about this last week too, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I don't think at the time, but this is something I think I want this version of the Curse of Frankenstein Collector's Edition. There's that big hammer set that's coming out, but I don't think I need it. I think you know, saving money in certain sets, and I've talked about this before, value for the dollars is that there. And sometimes the big chunky expensive set, like I said, I splurged on this Halloween set that I didn't need, but the value for the dollars there because of the pumpkin, and I do love imprint, and I'm a huge fanboy, but plus the you know the extra special encode, and so it's something that I had to get. Now I do enjoy the Hammer films, and I have all of the Dracula ones, as far as I understand. I think I have all of the Dracula Hammer films. I have a couple of these Frankenstein ones. I don't have this one. I thought that's the one I had, but I didn't. I don't have this one, so I haven't seen it, and it's going to be a blind buy for me for sure. And I don't mind picking up this less expensive 4K edition, but that big chunky box set, while it'd be nice, a nice looking shelf piece, I'm gonna pass on that. So this is the version I'm gonna end up getting. I do like the artwork. Again, you know, I wish that the Stupid Ugly banner wasn't there, but a Warner Archive 4K, I'm definitely all in. And then, let's see. I just traded in my Kill Bill Blu-rays and this Eyes Wide Shut because of the new stuff that's coming out. I know I'm going to be buying this. And in the past, and again, I think I talked about this last week, but my internet was so horrible, so I don't know what got cut out because of my bad internet and what you guys actually heard. But this one here, I'm going to be buying it blind, hoping for the best, because that's what we did in the past. Like that's how when we upgraded. Well, me personally, when I upgraded from VHS to DVD, most of the times I got rid of my VHS. I got the DVD. I was super happy with it. Some DVDs were better than others, and then as you upgraded your TV and the technology changed, it was definitely more noticeable. But originally, when DVD was first released, and I just had a CRT tube television, I think all my DVDs looked fantastic. And so it's one of those things that I think I'm going to be shifting to that instead of trying to keep all my stuff and then getting the new upgrades and then comparing and then stressing over it. Is this better? Is that better? It's really not worth it. There's probably a few that I'll still do that on, but not every movie. So Eyes Wide Shut, I traded my Blu-ray in. I'll be getting this 4K soon. I think it comes. I think it's already out, or November release. So it comes out in November. So I'll be getting that sometime after the move, and then the imprint. Let it out that they're doing the Kill Bills. So I'm really looking forward to those Kill Bills from imprint, and those will be. I don't know if they're going to be day one purchases, but those would be high on my list of things that I need to get. And then we have. Let's see. We talked about The Mask. I am super excited about this for November. Oh, did it go out? Oh no. All right, I guess Blu-ray.com went out. So we're gonna hold off on that. But The Mask, the big chunky box set from Arrow Video, I am super stoked about it. And then also End of Days. So this is another one that comes out. Oh yeah, Blu-ray.com went out. So End of Days is another one that I'll be picking up. I'm super stoked for. I don't know when I'll be getting it, but for me, when I like to watch that movie, and I had the VHS for the longest time for End of Days, and it was very recently I finally upgraded to the Blu-ray, and so, or maybe a DVD. I don't remember. Do I have this on Blu-ray or DVD? Let's double check. I upgraded. I had the VHS for the longest time, and I watched that always, and then my VHS kind of a little bit worn out, and so I did upgrade that not that long ago, within a year or maybe two. Let's see, End of Days. I have the Blu-ray, so I did upgrade to the Blu-ray not that long ago. Um, so it's not a day one purchase, but something, again, it's high up on the list. But the time of year I like to watch End of Days is, you know, it's a holiday movie, and like a lot of people try to say that it's not, but there's a Santa Claus in the movie. It takes place from like in December, from Christmas to after New Year or through New Year's, and so it's a holiday movie, and a lot of people don't like to admit that, but it is. At the end of the day, it's just a holiday movie, and so yeah, I'll be picking that up at some point, and then we have. I think that's pretty much all I was super excited about. Oh, here's what I want to talk about. So censorship in movies. Now, this is nothing new. We have this Crocodile Dundee, the encore cut. Oh man, can't pull it up. But anyway, it was announced, this encore cut of the Crocodile Dundee movie. I like the artwork. I think the artwork on it's fantastic, but it is definitely a movie that it has been edited, and right, wrong, or indifferent. You like the jokes, you don't like the jokes, you're offended. It's art. And I've said a million times before, you're not going to go into a museum and put clothes on the naked statues and paint over, the naked, models on the paintings. You're not going to do that, but they're going to censor this and they're going to change it. And this is still art. And so I I'm not going to support it. I know that there's going to be people that are, there are people that are going to support this, and there are people that are going to go through and they're going to take that Crocodile Dundee, and you know, I'm sure there's people that are going to review it or just to make a video to crap on it. Don't buy it. Don't spend your money. Don't waste your money. If you go, you click on that icon right there. If Blu-ray.com is back up by the time you do that, you click on that icon, you can actually read in those comments of that. Like, everyone's kind of crapping on it. Nobody wants this version. Nobody's excited for censorship. So it's one of those things. Moving forward, you want to change the language. They've done it pretty much my entire life. They changed the language, and it's always a certain group of people changing the language because they don't want to offend other people, and it's always happened. And so then this is, I feel, is really no different, and it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, if you're not old enough to understand that maybe that stuff's offensive and it was funny at the time, and you know, it's still funny. I don't really care what anybody says. It's still funny. And you know, just don't be so offended. Don't be so offended. Stop being a pansy and get over it. But man, I'm not supporting that at all. But then, yeah, I think that was it. I think that was all the stuff that I was kind of excited for as far as that goes. Let's double check. Yeah, there's that. And then this movie here, The Naked Gun, the new one. Now, I was never a huge fan of The Naked Gun. And, you know, it's Leslie Nielsen. I'm just not a huge Leslie Nielsen guy. I don't know if I have any movies other than like Forbidden Planet. I have Forbidden Planet with Leslie Nielsen when he was a younger actor. But like I was only ever introduced to Leslie Nielsen as he was an older actor, and he was doing all those spoof comedies. And I just was never into those. I was never really a spoof comedy guy. And when I do like those, I don't like them so slapsticky and that type of stuff, where Leslie Nielsen it pretty much was. And so this one, though, it gets a lot of great reviews. A lot of people are talking about it, and it's coming across as a high recommend. So I might give it a watch at some point, but I'm not really looking forward to it. And I hope it's not super slapsticky like that, because just like I said, I've never really liked those. But any of the spoof comedy, like I liked Wise Guys with Danny DeVito. I thought that was a fun movie. And Lou Albano's in that one, the wrestler. That was great. But it's a spoof on like Wise Guy movies, but it's also, you know, a straight comedy. Like, it's not, I don't think it's too wacky, but it's a comedy, and so it was enjoyable, and I like that kind of thing. But I don't know. I digress. But as we talk into that, I did want to point this out because I mentioned the Halloween set. Let's close this out here. And so I mentioned the Halloween set. And so as I mentioned that Halloween set, you know, a lot of people are like, you're only paying for the packaging. And a lot of times you are. A lot of times, any of these big upgrades, any of these crazy big giant sets behind me, there's not a ton of new features or new reasons to upgrade because there's already a 4K version out, or vice versa, or whatever's going on. People complain because you're just paying for the packaging. And as a collector, I do like to watch my movies, but it's this right here frustrated me beyond belief. And it's kind of the reason that I went like heavy into the boutique labels, and I started getting all those big, you know, big chunky box set collector's editions, because it was this Mill Creek release of Quantum Leap. And this packaging is absolutely horrible. And all those people that leave comments of, you know, you just paying for packaging, or all you care about is packaging. Yeah, because when you're getting this garbage for your movies, one, the DVDs, when you slide them in and out of these sleeves, they get little micro scratches on them, and you know, they play for now, but for how long? You have the micro scratches on them. And then I can't tell you how many times when we were watching this set, and I got this set so long ago. It was before I had my Plex server, and I had started ripping my movies to my computer and watching my TV shows that way. So this show is all on my Plex server now, but I have the physical copy of it backed up. But when we were watching this, when I bought it brand new, I can't tell you how many times I'd go to grab this box to get the next disc, and I go to grab the box, and then it would I'd grab it upside down, or I'd just grab it the wrong way, and then all these are on the floor. All of them on the floor. It happened least 3 times during trying to watch this entire thing, and we pretty much binged it. So I have a 5-disc DVD changer downstairs, and so I loaded up 5 discs. Once those 5 discs were spent, put them back, and then put another 5 discs in. And so that's how I did it. So I am, you know, there's no way to say it, but I'm a package guy. I like the big special edition chunky sets. I like my movies being protected. And so I've also said before, like, I'm pretty much out on steelbooks. Like, I don't really buy steelbooks anymore unless it falls into my absolute favorite movies of all time. And there's only like top 5, like my top 5, and that's where I'll buy a single standard steelbook. But as far as anything else, it has to be in like a nice big chunky protected box set for me to even think about getting the steelbook version. And so this big Halloween set, if it was just the standard steelbooks, I would skip it. I would completely skip it. And I don't know. I think this might be the first time that, maybe the second time that I think Imprint may have dived into the steelbook market. But yeah, for me, I think it would be the first Imprint steelbooks I ever bought. And it's because it's coming in a big protective display box. And then it's over there. I'm not going to pull it down, but I have the Nakatomi Plaza. Fox put it out years ago, long before Disney bought Fox, I think. Maybe not. Maybe, but it may be in that time period. And it's because I've had this for at least a decade, probably. And it's the Nakatomi Plaza. It's big. It's this big, giant tower. It's the building. And then the case of movies goes inside the bottom, and it's just nice. It's a nice display piece. The movies fit into it, and those aren't steelbooks. It's a regular plastic Blu-ray case with all the movies in it, and yeah, that's something I enjoy. And it's not for everybody, and that's the whole point. Is collect how you want to collect, buy what you want to buy. Don't let anybody tell you you're collecting wrong. But people tell me on a regular basis I'm collecting wrong. And I tell you, it's because you spend all kinds of money. And this wasn't too expensive, but you spend all kinds of money on this stuff. And this is not protective. This sucks. So there's that. But as we dive in, the rest of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, then we'll wrap this up. And we'll wrap it up. I'll bring up the Fourth Wall store. I'll show you the new Halloween spooky season merch. It's limited. As soon as spooky season's over, so November 1st, whether we sell out. Last year we sold out of all the stuff, but we didn't have a lot of options. This year we got a lot of options. And so whether we sell out or not, November 1st, whatever's available for the spooky season will be gone. But I have, let's see, let me double check. I think I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, I have 10 of these movies here. And so these are the movies that they're new. They're newer. These are movies that were put out fairly recently, at least. See, I don't think I have anything super old here. In the past couple years, within maybe 10 years tops if I have anything in here. But these are modern movies that I actually enjoyed. And the first one is it's a revenge movie, but it's something that it's a little bit different. It's a different kind of take on the revenge story because we're using like a teenage girl now on the younger side, and so there's none of that other stuff that we see in stuff like I Spit on Your Grave. But this one is Becky, and it stars Lulu Wilson, Kevin James, and Joel McHale. I think it's a C, McHale. But anyway, Kevin James is a bad guy. Top notch. Absolutely huge fan. I like Kevin James to begin with, but him as a bad guy, I think he's absolutely fantastic. But this movie here, Becky, if you haven't seen it, these guys, they get out of jail. They come to the house. The family's here on it's like their summer home vacation. There's some problems in the family. Becky's an older teenager, but she's not. She's got kind of a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, and so she's like hiding out. She's doing her own thing, kind of miserable. But then these guys they break into the home, and then they're looking for something. And as they're looking for something, Becky has it, and they start like beating people up. They're threatening to kill them. It's one of those movies, but Becky ends up fighting back, and it's one of the things that I actually enjoyed. Now they did a sequel to that movie, and I actually started watching it, but then something happened and I didn't finish watching it, and so it's I don't know. I got to revisit that one, so I can't make a full opinion on it. But from what I saw, I think the first one's fantastic, but the second one is not as good. Not as good. I have to finish watching it before I can form a full opinion. Now, this one here came highly recommended by you guys. And then the crazy story is I put it off for so long because every time I saw it at Walmart, they only had the Blu-ray. I was informed of the 4K. But then recently I did a giant pickup from Groove.com was having their 3 for 4K sale, and it was 3 for 30 4Ks and 3 for 20 Blu-rays. They also had 3 for 24 Blu-rays, and so I picked up a lot of stuff. And then I ended up picking this thing up on Blu-ray because it was the cheaper option, 3 for 20 or 3 for 24, and it is the Bike Riders. This movie here, top notch. Probably now this movie didn't come out this year, but I would say this is my favorite movie that I've seen this year. My favorite pickup, easily in my top 10. So when I do my end of the year list of my top 10 favorite pickups, this is easily going to be in there unless something knocks it out of the way. But you got Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, and Tom Hardy. Huge fan of Tom Hardy. I'll watch anything he's in. Austin Butler, though, I'm a big fan. This was the first time I ever saw him in a movie. I knew of him, but the first time I ever saw him in a movie, and man, big fan. So yeah, high recommend. And it's a biker movie, and they start this motorcycle gang, and a friend of mine mentioned how that he assumed that this movie was not assumed, but he treated it like it was a prequel to Sons of Anarchy. And if you look at it that way, it's a good way to look at it. But overall, high recommend, huge fan, and looking forward to this one. I a little bit regret not getting the 4K, but it being shot in a newer movie, the Blu-ray is beautiful. It looks beautiful on my television, and no complaints. But yeah, this is a high recommend. If you have not seen it, pick it up. Blind buy. You'll thank me later. Now here's one. I'm not surprised I like it. I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. Now he has done some movies that I'm not a fan of, especially early on. Like I'm just kind of like, it's not for me. But this movie here, it's Ryan Reynolds and all of his form, and it's a buddy movie, but it's not a buddy cop movie. It's The Hitman's Bodyguard. Ryan Reynolds, Sam Jackson. This is another one. I had a lot of fun with this one. I bought the sequel, blind buy. Again, I don't think the sequel is as good, but yeah, this one here, top notch, big fan. I'm not a huge action guy, but action comedy, yeah, I'll get this. Action comedy, horror comedy, like I'm a big fan of those. But yeah, this one, high recommend if you haven't seen it. The Ryan Reynolds is the bodyguard, and Sam Jackson is the hitman, and Sam Jackson ruined his career, ruined his life, but now he has to get Sam Jackson to a certain place at a certain time so he can give testimony and takes down some really bad guys. And the entire time, everyone's trying to stop them. It's an awesome movie. High recommend. Oh, and I think the 4K is top notch. It's a newer shot movie. Obviously, it's going to be great. But this one here, this one confused me. But I love the movie. So the movie didn't confuse me. It was the release. The release confused me on this one, and it's Game Night with Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams. Love this movie, and this is why it confused me. We get the big ugly banner, but this didn't come with the Blu-ray, and it didn't come with the digital code, and it just says 4K Ultra HD. The big ugly banner is dumb, and it's not needed. It's not needed at all, especially when you're not giving any other stuff. So that one confused me. But yeah, that's it. That's all you get. Boring plain disc. But the movie, I think it's fun. It's a Jason Bateman. I think it's top notch. And it's why I did pick up that crappy movie with Jason Bateman and Jim Belushi, because I was like, I think they're great actors. I think they're fun. I think they're funny, enjoyable. And this, Jason Bateman is, I think, top notch. But overall, if you haven't seen it, so it's this game night movie. They play games. He's super competitive. He meets Rachel McAdams. They fall in love. She's super competitive, and they play these any game, board games, bar games, all that type of stuff, and they're very competitive. But then his brother comes back and kind of crashes their little party, and then his brother always kind of treated him like crap, and then it also kind of makes him nervous and screws up his whatever he's got going on. But then his brother comes along to set up this game, and it's he pays this company that just comes in and does this like wild and crazy stuff, and so they're expecting that. But then his brother actually gets kidnapped by some bad guys, and then they're going chasing him, but they're thinking they're playing the game. I think this is a fun movie. High recommend. Big fan. And not gonna lie, if they ever put out a sequel to this, I'd watch it 100%. Does it need a sequel? No. It's fantastic the way it is, but no, no. This is one that I absolutely love. High recommend, but I put it off for a little while, and it wasn't. It was just the way I grew up. Like my daughter's like, "Nah, you gotta watch this movie," and it's got an amazing cast, and so I don't know why I didn't put it off. But the movie's called Baby Driver, but then you have a pink cover, and so they're calling the boy Baby, and they got the pink cover, and I'm like, what is going on in this movie? But you got Kevin Spacey, Lily James, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, great cast here. Let's see, Eliza Gonzalez, Ansel Elgort. I can't ever get his name right. I think it's Elgort, but fantastic movie. And if you don't know, you got the main character here, Baby. He's got like something wrong with his eardrums. He can't. He had a bad accident. He's got ringing in his ears, and so he listens to these headphones with music. But he's the best driver ever. Criminal Underground. Everybody's a criminal. He's the driver. They do stuff. Kevin Spacey works with Baby because Baby's paying off a debt to Kevin Spacey's character, and so he does all the driving, and they rotate out the bad guys. But then this group here, they do another run, and that's when things start to go off the rails, a little bit of chaos, and I recommend. Really enjoy this one. Great car chases, great music, overall great story. Now, here's one. I think it's amazing. I think this is an amazing film. It doesn't get a lot of love, but it's a period piece. I think it's kind of long, if I remember correctly. 188 minutes. So, yeah, it's a little bit long, not too long. We're talking about Babylon. So, you have an amazing cast here: Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt. Who else is in here? Diego Calva, great. But this is a movie. It's a period piece. It takes place early Hollywood, and just as they were really getting started. But it's a debaucherous movie. It opens up in this party. They bring an elephant to it. Stuff's going on. There's a scene when we first really introduced to Margot Robbie's character. Like after she crashes, gets her way into the party, she's then in this like back room with this whole table full of coke and like doing that. It's man, this is a debaucherous film, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's a period piece, and I'm pretty much a sucker for those. And so anything to do with old Hollywood in not the typical fashion or the stories that you've heard before, yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. So this one here, it's definitely hard R, and it's hey, long list of stuff. Graphic nudity, bloody violence, sex, language. It's got all the stuff. It's got all the stuff in here. Hard R. High recommend though. Next one here is something that I knew I was gonna like, but I didn't know how much. And so when this came out, I watched it in. I've watched this movie in black and white. I've watched this movie in color. I have the movie in color, and then I've watched it with subtitles on. I've watched it with subtitles off, and that's an interesting way to watch a Japanese movie with no subtitles and just watching it. And so it was just a way because I went to watch this movie, and my daughter, who she can read, but trying to keep up with the subtitles, sometimes it sucks because then she's like, "What he say? What he say?" Like it's frustrating. So I was watching this movie. She came down. She wanted to watch it with me. So I just turned off the subtitles because I just wanted to enjoy a Godzilla movie. I'm talking about Godzilla Minus One. I think this is a great movie. I would love to have the version that's in black and white, the Godzilla minus color. But like I was saying, it's an interesting way to watch it in with the subtitles off and just watching it in Japanese, because it's almost like watching a silent film. Not quite. Clearly, you hear the sound effects, you hear them talking, but not being able to understand it, but just being able to watch visually, and just you know what's going on visually. And so it was definitely an interesting way to watch it. I don't recommend doing that, but at the same time, for me, it was enjoyable. But yeah, that's just a class, and that's another one I think is pretty long. So if I remember correctly, it was kind of a long movie, but man, so good. Oh, not too bad. It's 125 minutes. That's not too bad. 2 hours, not bad at all. Here's one that I didn't think I was going to enjoy, because it was basically old man John Wick, and we're talking about Nobody, and it's from the writer of John Wick. Go figure. But it was considered one of the best action films in over a decade. And so Nobody, yeah, this is great. And now we have, what's his name there? I forget his name. Bob Odenkirk. That's right, Bob Odenkirk. But I remembered him from uh, the Breaking Bad TV show. And then there was the spinoff, Better Call Saul. And he played the shisty or crappy lawyer and always doing shady stuff. And then to see him in this action film, it was fun. It was definitely a fun outing, and now there's a second one coming out, so that's going to be a huge blind buy. I'm just going to grab it. I'm just going to buy it. I did enjoy this one, and it doesn't get like I said, I'm not a huge action guy, but it doesn't get a lot of rewatches. But as I'm rewatching the John Wick series, I'll pop this one in anytime. Real big fan. But yeah, like, and Bob Odenkirk, he's done some stuff over the years, but absolutely fun. Now, this one I've talked about a bunch of times, and every single time I've talked about it, I mentioned how I'm pretty sure I got this at Best Buy, and it was the red case and the red cover and everything that just sold me on the movie. But then finding out that it was, you could get this at Vinegar Syndrome, and I think it was a partner label release. I don't think it's a Vinegar Syndrome release, but I think it's a partner label. But it had a nice big slip box cover that I missed out on, and oh man, it's overpriced, not a print, and expensive on eBay, and so I don't need it, but I thought it was cool and I kind of wanted it. And we're talking about Summer of '84, and so again, it was the red cover that sold me, so I'm pretty sure I got this at Best Buy in store. But yeah, this one here, it's a serial killer movie. It takes place in the '80s, and as far as like, and I've said this every time I've talked about this, as far as '80s movies go, and that are not in the '80s, that are filmed now, this one is probably, I don't know, it brought back all kinds of memories for me. And at no point was I really going like, we didn't do that in the '80s, or that's not how it was. Like, I've done that with a lot of things, especially when they decorate like kids' bedrooms in like '80s TV shows, or '80s, or things that are based in the '80s, not '80s TV shows, but TV shows and movies that are based in the '80s. A lot of times they do the kids' bedrooms. They deck it out in all this nostalgia, all the stuff. And I was like, that's not how we had it. Like, I don't know anybody that had it like that. Maybe a poster here or there, but like to have it like, wall to wall, you couldn't see anything, pretty much like my wall behind me. And it was just filled with all the memberberry stuff. Yeah, they didn't do that. And this here, I mean, there's like wood paneling and like stuff that I remember. But then how the kids played, till dark. They were still out playing in the summer. And man, big fan. But this is a serial killer movie, and so it's not a comedy. I mean, there's some dark humor in it, but overall, I think this is a top-notch film, and I wish more movies like this would come out. Like, not exactly, doesn't have to be in the serial killer genre, but movies that take the '80s and they do it right. Big fan, though. Oh, I forgot to really tell you what the movie's about. So there's a serial killer. Everybody knows that they're kidnapping kids, or they're kidnapping people, and they're taking out these. Everyone's scared. And so the kids. It's like a Rear Window kind of movie. And so the kids are like, hey, we think it's the neighbor. And so they start investigating, and then it gets a little spooky, and, it's a good movie. And then this one here is one that I didn't think I was going to enjoy. But then I was like, it was at Best Buy. I just happened to be there. I drove all that way. There was none of the new releases that I wanted, and so this did come up as a high recommend, but I was like, I'm not really too sure. But then I was like, oh, Sam Jackson, Michael Keaton, I don't think you can go wrong. But it's, and that, why I didn't think it was a me movie is, again, I'm not a huge action junkie, but I was a big fan of this. And so it's called The Protege, Made for Vengeance. And so you have Sam Jackson's character, who's an assassin. He saves her as a little girl, and then she's trained up to be a master assassin. And then Michael Keaton's in there, and I think it's a solid film. But then something happens. They have like this like father-daughter kind of relationship going on. He saved her when she was really young, and pretty much raised her and then trained her. And something happens, and then his place is trashed. He's missing, and then she's trying to figure out what's going on. But I really enjoyed this film. High recommend. That was it. That was everything I wanted to talk about today. And remember to watch a movie today. I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, don't give me a cat. That's fine.